Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the MostHated LiveStream. Today I have a very special guest, Renaissance man, if you will. He's got more things that he has done and does do than most people have that they haven't done. So please welcome Kevin Jones to the show.
What's going on?
All right. Tell me a little about yourself, man. I know about you, but my audience really doesn't. So go ahead and be as boisterous as you want.
Oh man. I don't know where to start. I've done a lot of things. Like, where am I just in general, like, rundown?
Yeah, give me like a quick and easy life story, like if you're writing on the back of a book.
Played a little bit of football. I joined the Army at 19. I served till about 2022. Played some arena football. Had some opportunities to go pro. Played a little bit of semi-pro football. I've coached high school football. Coached JFL football. Personal trainer, master fitness trainer. Done some bodybuilding shows. Did the Arnold Classic, Chicago Pro. That's pretty much it.
He coached my son for a little bit when he was in the JFL, and he also inspired me to go on my fitness journey. So that's pretty cool. So he's a big inspiration for me, and as you can tell, I mean, like, I felt like I was getting kind of big, but then I'm sitting next to him, and I'm like, you know what? Not so much.
I don't know. Your journey's phenomenal, to say the least. Like, you did, man. I was telling her about it too. I was like, it's just absolutely nuts because people ask me for advice all the time, and they never stick with it. You know, I still give everyone the same advice as if they were gonna use it, but you took it and ran with it, dude. So
yep, I utilized everything you told me.
I told you, congratulations and stuff, but in person, dude, like, phenomenal work, and glad to see you're still sticking with it. You know, you even got the home gym going on in here too.
Oh yeah,
so
the dojo. Yeah,
it's definitely exciting to see you still going after it, dude. So
yeah, I've actually decided to pursue personal training also as like a side hustle. So I thought that'd be a pretty good idea. But yeah. So I wanted to have you on. So I'd like to ask you some questions. Are you currently right now training for anything in particular? Or?
Kinda. So I started. I was gonna do a show in March. Stuff happened. I might do the Chicago Pro as just like a traditional thing. That's my second show. 6 years ago now. It didn't seem like that, and I kind of might switch over to that. I put on a ton of weight. So I'm kind of in the mix of like a little prep kind of thing. Path changed a little bit. My fiance is about to start a doctorate program, so like it might take a back seat, because that's priority. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
All right. So, like, what would you say, like, is your training philosophy? Are you a bulk and cut? Are you a main gain? Like, what do you think?
So, it varies. It just depends on. So, how I like to do it is I find out what show I'm going to do at what weight group. So, my first show was the classic physique, and you're only allowed so much weight per height and height and weight, and so it just depends. So, like, for me, it's like you obviously want to bulk first. You want to put as much weight on it as you can in the beginning of the prep. A good prep lasts about 18 weeks.
Oh, 18 weeks. I did like 36 years, I think.
Yeah, so you want to, in the beginning of your prep, you kind of want to start and try to put on as much weight as possible, and then you want to back it down from there so it's less stressful. And so I was actually going to do men's physique this last time around because I tore my patella tendon twice last summer, and so I'm not able to squat and lift my lower body. So men's, heavyweight bodybuilding, classic physique, having that quad definition just, isn't really feasible right now because I had to get a transplant in my left knee. So I was going to do men's physique, which they were the board shorts. So put on some weight and, I was going to try to back down from there. So I don't really have like a straight philosophy per se, but I guess the generic answer would just be put on weight and then just kind of strategically start backing down. I do recommend doing abs every day though. It's the only body muscle group that hasn't really been proved to burn out. A lot of people like to wait till the last few weeks to try to throw abs in there. So I would just say consistently work at abs every day.
Yeah, like throw them on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a little something at the end of every. Yeah,
Absolutely.
just because why not? Because like all your other muscle groups use it as stabilizers, but anything you work out doesn't directly hit it. So you got it. So. Yeah, so that's cool. Like that you're actually. Are you looking to maybe go pro, or is this just like a hobby, just something to prove to yourself?
Honestly, dude, like you said, just with the different things, the different paths I've done in life, I'm still kind of soul searching to find out, what's my calling. You know what I mean? So like, my son went to high school. He's a freshman this year. And so for the first year since he started in 9, I haven't coached him in football because I'm not coaching this year. And so that was a big part of who I am. And so I was kind of lost at that, like, man, like, what do I do, And so, I have a 4-month-old, at home. I'm at home with her right now with the injury and stuff. So it's like, I honestly don't know, like, like what I want to do to pursue. And so my fiance told me, she's like, hey, whatever you want to do, I'll back you and we can figure it out. And then so having that much like leeway, I'm just like, what do I want to do?
Yeah, exactly. So, too much choice.
Yeah, because at one point, obviously, when I was talking with you, chasing that pro card is always the end goal. But at the same time, it's really, really tough to try to keep up with these guys because this is all they do. They get sponsored. Yeah. They do this full time. I have a whole life. Family. We have 6 kids between the two of us, and my son basketball, football, and track. My daughter's volleyball and track. My bonus kids are flag football, t-ball, and they're starting their sports journeys too. So we just got a ton of stuff that we're doing. And I mentioned that she's starting her doctorate program, so that's going to take priority. So it's like, I'm still trying to figure out.
Make time for what you want, but yeah.
So whether I want to do like skills camps, because I thought about that too. It's just kind of running some strength conditioning speed camps for kids and high schoolers and stuff like that, or because I can kind of structure that around everything that's going on. So right now, like I said, I don't really have like a path. I'm kind of just,
got a lot of irons in the fire.
Kind of vibing right now.
Yeah, because when I met you, you were a welder.
Yeah.
And you were like, I used to be a tattoo artist in the Army. I was like I said, you're a Renaissance man. You got a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah, I kind of dabbled a little bit everywhere, just trying to figure out, like I said, my place in life. And, I just kind of short-term thing was just to figure out whatever works best in life with my family at the time. Yeah. So whether that was welding or forklift driving or whatever it was, and I got the opportunity now to where, like I said, with her, she's like, hey, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm good at a lot of things, but I don't know exactly like what drives me anymore, to be completely honest, So I'm just kind of trying to figure that out. And then, once I do, then, because I also ran security for a while with Tailgate and Tall Boys. So, I was bodyguards for Brantley Gilbert, Morgan Wallen, Jelly Roll, done a lot of things like that too. So it's like, firearms instructor. I have a couple of different paths that I can take, but
it's like when you're good at so much, it's hard to pick what you.
I would say I'm good at it. Everything. It's just like I know a lot about. I know a little bit about a lot of things, and I have the ability to be good at a lot of those things. But it's just one of those things where we all want to do something that we love doing, to where we're not like dreading every day waking up like, man, I gotta go to work. You know what I mean? So I do enjoy a lot of those things. But it's all about longevity at this point. I'll be 38 this year, so it's like, what can I see myself doing, for a long time? Yeah,
because like realistically, with medical science and everything, you still have decades left. You know what I mean? Like where you can still be.
Yeah, the injury kind of took a little bit from me, just because it took a lot from where I was in my path of bodybuilding. I can't lift like I was, and the doctor told me technically I'll never be able to bodybuild again. And he also said that there's a chance that I'll never like recover like I was before. So obviously that's like a challenge to me, but I've been in the gym, and right now I can't even leg curl or leg extend 15 pounds on my left leg. So, and I was squatting 600 pounds. So,
that's a little bit of a drop.
Right. So it's that changed for a lot for me too. So not only can I not do what I was going to do, if I wanted to continue to bodybuild, I would have to like I said, go to men's physique or something. Something different.
But it's cool that there are,
options out there, for it, but even those guys are still, their quads are still insane too. So not to disrespect those guys and their craft as well, to say they're lesser of a bodybuilder.
Oh yeah, it's just a different style, yeah.
It's just, I don't have to, I wouldn't say focus on my legs as much. Naturally I have bigger legs, but like not like those guys. So, life happens to you, and it, kind of sets you back, and it just alters the plan and adapt and overcome and try to figure it out.
Yeah, because like to dedicate yourself to that, it does take a ton of time, and like you're a family man, and so it's harder. Like it's good to see you're a family man, and you want to be there for your kids, because some people they just push that aside. So that's also very admirable.
Well, it helps a lot too, because she also works out. She's a runner. She works out too, so it's easier when we prep, because we were prepping for the whole house. It's just us a lot of times together. So it's like staying on that path, it's a little bit easier. If that was the route that I wanted to take, because it's not like out of the ordinary where I'm like, hey, I got to eat like this, I got to eat this much, whatever, meal prepping, and it's fine because she's doing the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like for me personally, it's not that way. I'm the only person in the house interested in fitness.
Right.
So that's why I have my own little area
100%. So it makes it tougher for you to stay on a path, which even makes your journey even more phenomenal too, because you don't have the, I'm not in a negative way, but you don't have that outside influence help.
Exactly. I'm just me, and then everyone else.
Yeah. So like you're eating different than everybody else. You're even buying groceries different than everyone else, and you're cooking 2 dinners because you got to cook dinner for them, then you got to cook dinner for yourself, and and the urges and temptations and stuff. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. Been there, been there, done that, but. Like I said, you wavered it really good too, so kudos. Yeah,
because I was not really thinking about doing any kind of bodybuilding or anything, but just kind of like maybe because I know there's like a transformation.
Absolutely, absolutely division. They're actually throwing that in there now. They're trying to start it next year with NPC. So how I started was once you graduate high school, I always said it's really tough to stay fit. When you don't have something to stay fit for. Yeah. Versus like if you're, you got so much time to live or you need to lose the weight or you're going to die kind of thing, that's a different story. But like for me, the Spartan race was the first thing I did. Yeah. I didn't have anything really to train for. I didn't know about bodybuilding really. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this, to get my followers excited or the people that I was training and coaching and stuff. And I did a Spartan race. And then I did it. And I was like, man, that's phenomenal. So I'm like, what else now? So I was like, let me train, do something next. And then bodybuilding was that. And I only did bodybuilding just to say I did it. Like, I'm going to do bodybuilding. Cross it off the list. Like, So I was like, I'm going to do the Arnold Classic. I'm self-coach, do all these things. And everyone's excited about it, all the accountability. And then I did it. And then I placed 16th out of the top 81 amateurs in the world. And I was like, hold up. Like, I'm maybe kind of good at this. Yeah, and then so I did the Chicago Pro in July of 2019 after the end of February, March 1st was Arnold Classic. I did Chicago Pro and I got 3rd. And I was like, bro, I'm going to stick to this.
Yeah, because you're like right there at the cusp, like.
Yeah, but in between the Arnold Classic, I was also still in the Army. I got sent to Korea for 45 days. So I lost a ton of weight. So I came back, jumped back in division, and then I got 3rd place. And then after the Chicago Pro, I got sent to Japan later on that fall. And then after I got back from Japan, in 2020, I got deployed for a year. And so I was getting ready to do...
Pretty hectic.
Yeah, I was getting ready to do the St. Louis Pro, and COVID happened too. And so they were back and forth on the, how hard it was going to hit kind of thing. And then they canceled the St. Louis Pro. And then I thought my deployment was going to be canceled. And they were like, nope, you guys are going. And so March of 2020, I left, and I got home in July of 2021. And of course, I lost 50 pounds in deployment.
Yeah, because it's different type. Like I know it's like a different. You can't really like build muscle out there as much as you get.
Yeah, well, I'm an infantryman, and we were a QRF, and so we were being spun up and running a lot of combat flight missions and stuff. So like, most of my workouts it wasn't bodybuilding. We ran a ton. Yeah. It was
heavy like cardio,
pull-ups,
calisthenics,
burpees, just rope climbs and. Air assault missions and different things like that. So we did a lot of that stuff, and so my workout, mindset changed. Just kind of back where you were saying, like, what's my goal? So like I have, a lot of different ways of things that I could do. So yeah, it just kind of changed a little bit, but it was just that fall off, all those different things, and then when I got out in 2022, I went through a divorce. Separation, and so I got out of the Army at 15 years, and obviously life changed there too. Yeah. So that focus changed for a lot of things
like,
too.
You don't have that like there with you where you. That's another thing that you would stay in shape for, like subconsciously. You're like, I always got to have that in the back of my mind. But now that that's kind of gone, like so, like keeping going, it's like you got one less outside thing to force you along.
Yeah, that was kind of like Cedric McMillan. Rest his soul, he passed away. But he was in the Army. He's a pro IFBB pro. Yeah, I didn't drink.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, he was in the Army, and he was an IFBB pro. But you can only get so big because we still have, things we have to do. We have to run. We have to do all these things in the military too. So that was always one of his knocks, that his legs wasn't as developed as all the other guys. And he was a heavyweight bodybuilder. Yeah. And obviously you can't be that big and run. Yeah. So he ended up getting on active duty, and then he went to South Carolina National Guard to take care of his mom, and he passed away shortly after that. But yeah, so it's like you can only do so much. You know what I mean?
So when you play football, what position did you play? Because right now you look like a lineman, and I don't. You were like a cornerback or a secondary. Like
so, yeah, I played corner and free safety, and kick return, punt return, stuff like that too. But yeah, I was probably during my football time. I'm gonna say 205 was probably the biggest I've gotten. I'm 258 right now, but 263-ish probably was the biggest I've gotten over this whole bulk thing. But yeah, I was a DB.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, also he's a northeastern guy too. I'm from Philadelphia. He's from Boston.
Yeah.
So we butt heads a little bit over the Patriots and Eagles, but there's love there.
Hey, congratulations this year.
Yeah. Hey, I think everyone was happy to see that, except for Chiefs fans. Yeah. So.
I don't root for anybody else other than the Patriots, but this year I was rooting for Eagles.
Yeah, I root against people all the time. Like the only team I would never ever root for is the Cowboys. So.
Rightfully so.
So yeah, that's we got that going. But yeah, when I played, I always played the line because I was always bigger. Like at my biggest, I was 420 pounds.
Yeah.
So getting down to 195 pounds was like a huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, lost an entire person. But now like this winter, I've been bulking up. I put on 12 pounds to like trying to do a clean bulk.
Yeah.
Slowly, and then I'm gonna.
Which
start
is also
again.
harder too, like harder than people think. Because with bulking, everybody just want to eat whatever they eat. Seafood diet. When I see it, I eat it. And then with clean bulking, it's like you got to eat the healthiest things,
but still being calorie. Yeah.
But you're also hungry the whole time, even if you're in a calorie deficit and you're still like bulking, but you're still hungry all the time. Like we're eating meals and you're like, I'm still hungry the whole time you're eating this meal, and your food's gone, and you're so.
Yeah, and it's tricky too because finding my caloric, like that's hard for me. Finding my maintenance. Because like back when I was my heaviest, my maintenance, because people think it's like a misnomer. People think that when you're bigger, you have a slower metabolism.
Right.
The metabolism is actually fast.
Yeah.
It's the only thing keeping you from not being way bigger.
Right.
But when you lose weight, then it slows back down. So like when I was big, I could eat 3,000 calories and just be maintained.
Yeah.
But now if I eat 3,000 calories, I'm putting on weight.
Yeah. So have you got into macro counting yet? Yeah,
I do the macros. I do it on an app. I don't like. It's not a good app, but I followed the basic like.
Well, the reason why I was asking because you can find your maintenance from there.
Yeah, I've got estimates.
Yeah.
On it, but I really don't, because like what always gets me, and this is the thing, they ask you to go, okay, describe your lifestyle, and okay, I get 15,000 steps a day, all that stuff, but when I'm determining my calories, I don't know if I want to put that in there because I'm not always going to get those steps.
Right.
So like I always put it in as I'm sedentary as a base, and then whatever I get, I burn off, and that's what I've been kind of going with.
It just depends on whatever your goal is, whatever you're trying to achieve too. So I would say there's usually 4 levels of it, of your activity levels too. But I wouldn't undercut yourself either because then you're pretty much starving yourself.
Yeah.
Too. So, but yeah, some of those apps is like I think it's like macro calculator ones are a pretty good one. They give you a pretty good estimate. And I would say for 2 weeks, follow it and then adjust.
Yeah, just try to see.
Just fire. Yeah, just fire from there. So
yeah, once I'm done doing this bulk and I actually start my cut when it gets warmer, then I'm gonna do the tracking, like all that stuff. But yeah, I try to get the protein. Try to get 1 gram per pound.
Yeah.
And I don't really go too crazy over that, but
yeah, it's just. That's tough getting protein in. And once you start macro counting, it's a lot of people like, man, I'm eating too much, And you start counting calories, and you're actually not eating enough.
Yeah, exactly. You surprise yourself.
Absolutely. And then so like once you start doing that, you realize how hard it is to hit those proteins and hit those fats. You burn fats like that. But when you're hitting those carbs, when you're at like 400 grams of carbs, and you're like, man, like you're trying to figure out stuff to do, and you're looking around the kitchen and the pantries, and you're trying to like throw all these little snacks in there and hit your numbers, So it's definitely tough once you start counting macros and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was a tricky one for me too, in particular because I'm diabetic. So like I was, not anymore. Like ever since I lost the weight, it's been in remission.
Absolutely.
So that's cool. But like at the time, I was like, okay, I can't eat carbs, but you need carbs to build muscle. Like what I mean? So like people don't realize that it's not only protein. Protein repairs. But carbs fill them up, so that's important. You got
to find that happy medium as well. And plus, you don't want to go into ketosis either because once your body starts, burning fat as energy, and that's not a good thing. So.
Yeah, no. Some people swear by it, but I found it does not work.
It's not sustainable.
It made me so tired. Yeah. Like because I first started on the keto because I was like, okay, I
got to start somewhere.
Yeah, to like lose some weight. But basically, the best diet in the world is the diet that you can stick with. Like that's all. That's it. Like,
technically, the definition of a diet is something you eat consistently. So,
exactly.
Probably about 10 years ago now, 10 years ago, I did a fast food diet where I literally ate fast food, and I still put on 5 pounds of muscle because the whole point of it was to teach people that you can out-train a bad diet. It's tough, but you can do it. And I was working out twice a day. I was doing all these things, but I only ate fast food. So it's possible, but like you said, technically a diet is anything you eat consistently. So,
yeah, because I know that like I hear online all the time, like a lot of discourse because I've done a ton of research on this and stuff because I'm, I want to be as educated about it as possible. and like they're saying like, oh, you lose the weight, 5 years later you'll gain it back.
Oh yeah.
And it's because I know because I hit this point myself when I lost the weight, then I started like sliding back,
plateauing.
Yeah, if you go back to how you were, of course you're going to gain the weight back.
Well, that goes back to, like I said earlier, is when you're finding something to stay fit for. Mm-hmm. And so that's why you got to start, I would always do like random challenges because I don't care how fit you are, it gets, I would say boring, but it gets like old after a while.
Yeah, where you're like, what am I even doing this for?
Right, exactly. And so that's why I told you I started the Spartan race, I started the bodybuilding. Like I was going to do like just, I want to do the Boston Marathon. I'm from Massachusetts. So I have to do the Boston Marathon. I'm not a runner, but like
just to do it.
Just to say I did it. So it's like those are the things that you start checking off the list and doing because it gives you something to shoot for. Mm-hmm. When you're like, I got this on the calendar, now I can't fall off. I can't eat that extra piece of pie.
Because if I don't, then I'll fail that.
And so starting maybe just pulling up lists of all these random things and just start dabbling in different things, and you might find your niche, and you might just it gives you goal. It gives you goals and ambition. And another thing I started was I will Facebook Live my workouts because I can't screw off on my workouts because people are watching.
Yeah, they hold you accountable.
Yeah, and accountability because like like you said, I didn't have anybody that would like, hey, what are you doing? Like, go to the gym, blah blah. Because I was doing that for everyone else, but no one did it for me.
Yeah, you're the coach. It's hard to. Who coaches the coach?
Right. And so I started posting my stuff on social media, and people will always comment a little bit here and there, and then so now I'm like, man, someone's watching. So that's when I had to stay on top of my stuff. So I had to start creating different things to keep me accountable.
Yeah, because good form is crazy important, and people will call you out instantly if they think that your form isn't good.
Absolutely.
That's the reason I don't post workouts right now, because I'm still learning. I'm like definitely still a beginner. So.
So it could be, and that's why I always tell guys, like, if you're going to help someone, help them in a good way, be respectful about it, because that's the last thing you want is someone to continue to do bad form because they're afraid of being criticized too much. I tell my son all the time, he's in high school, and, they go to their workouts with their buddies. I'm like, you want to get worked out, come to the gym with me. Because I coach high school football, and I know 80% of the kids don't know what they're doing, and then the 20% that do know what they're doing it wrong. The forms are off because they're too busy trying to do all the weight on the rack.
Yeah, the ego
because
lifting,
they're showing out with their buddy, and they're not progressing. They're not getting anything from it. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things too. Is like you want to know, start light, and then get the form.
Yeah, there's no shame in lifting light.
Absolutely,
lifting anything is like that's good. Like
I don't max.
Yeah.
I don't max, like, ever.
Yeah,
I tell everyone, they're like, what's your bench max? I don't even flat bench, actually, because of my shoulders. I only incline bench.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, I only incline bench. I don't even max out. Like, they're like, how much you can bench? I'm like, the last time I was benching 405, but that was like 7 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do like 12 sets of 10 of 225 or up to like 275.
Yeah, exactly.
Like working sets. But I don't know what my max is. You know what I mean? Because I don't care about ego lifting.
Yeah, exactly. If you're a power lifter, then that makes sense.
True. I'm a bodybuilder. I'm supposed to look strong.
Exactly. You want to add the aesthetics, yeah.
Right. So, yeah, but that's one of those things where, like, you don't ego lift, but be respectful to a person if you want to help them out with something, show them a form, correction, or whatever. Because you just never know that could help someone.
Yeah.
I got video on my YouTube channel where I was in the gym working at Champion out at, like, midnight, and I dropped, I can't remember how much weight it is now. It's like 4 something maybe on myself in the gym, and I had it clipped. The only one in there.
Yeah, so you can't really.
Yeah. That's why I don't work out clipped, so I can dump the weight now.
Exactly. That's a good safety tip. If you're going heavy, don't clip them.
Yeah, but you live and you learn. Trial and error. So I started somewhere too. I had no guidance. I had no coaches, and I was just researching and just. Out there figuring it out by myself. So
yeah, and there's so much conflicting information out there on the internet too, like where some guys are like, hey, you have to do it this way. If anyone tells you have to do something, then they're usually not right, because there's no steadfast set in the die thing for everybody. So
absolutely, because people have injuries. Same thing with reverse grip benching. If you have bad shoulders, you can reverse grip bench. There is no one way of doing something.
Yeah, no, and all the guys I see at the gym suicide gripping and stuff, I would never. But I mean, they say it's good for some stuff, but not for me, man. I ain't even about to.
That's the only way I lift.
Yeah. See, he's braver than me.
Call it thumbless or suicide lifting or whatever, but it builds stronger hands.
Yep, and I know there are benefits, but it ain't for me.
I wasn't always like that. When I started, and then I just felt more comfortable that way. So, but yeah, there's always benefits. There's pros and cons to absolutely everything.
So,
correct.
What's some advice you would give to someone like to start off in the gym? Because I know a lot of people are apprehensive, like especially bigger people when they go to the gym. They're like, oh, everyone's looking at me. First of all, no one's looking at you or judging you. If they're looking at you, they want to help you.
Absolutely.
The gym is friendly people, man, for real.
So that's the biggest thing. When I first started out too, it's like you see someone doing something, you want to correct them, but then you're back and forth to yourself, like, how are they going to take the correction? You know, I don't want to approach them and then they make a big scene in the gym. I also don't want to embarrass them.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's so many things that are going through your head of while you're watching, and you're trying not to stare either. And, you know, and so, like, in the gym I go to now, the women's section is in the back of the gym.
Yeah.
They move it to the side because a lot of women feel like people are staring at them, you know, but a lot of times you're like, and I just absolutely will not correct females in the gym.
Yeah, exactly. It's just better. You're better off.
It's so conflicted, and there's no disrespect to women like that. It's just like, I'm not coming on to you. Like, it's just, you're about to break your back. Exactly. I'm trying to help you, but you know what? To each his own, you know. So, but anyways, back to what you're saying though. I would just say, do your research before you go in the gym. And start with what you know. You know, don't go in there trying to get it all back in one day. And as you know this too, like, it's a journey.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's going to be a journey, you know. So I would just go in there. I wouldn't, I guess, kind of contradict what I said earlier. I wouldn't focus on abs when you're first getting started.
No. Yeah, do your
absolutely.
Yeah, everything else.
And
first.
I would start with full body. I would go in there and I would do a little bit of full body, and I wouldn't work out more than 45 minutes. You don't need, you know, I can give you a good workout in 20 minutes, and you swear you've been in the gym for 3 hours. You know, you're just consistent, rest is short, you know, and you're moving after the next.
Yeah, I do a lot of supersetting.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so I would just say focus on full body and keep your rest periods between each each set 45 seconds and about 1:30 between each exercise. So if you're doing 4 sets of whatever, the set, 45 seconds a set, 45 seconds, and when you're switching to the next exercise, no more than 1:30, because now you don't want to feel like you're getting your pump all over again.
Yeah.
You know, so that's pretty much my advice I would give. You know, just do some full body stuff. I'd say hit an exercise or 2 per muscle group, you know, and then just start there.
Yeah, because I mean, most science says as long as you get above 10 sets a week of each muscle group, then that's the building zone. Like, that's the beginning of the muscle build zone.
Yep.
So
Yep.
as long as you don't got to like kill yourself every day. You don't got to go in there and be like, oh, I did 12 sets of triceps today. You're like, why would you do that to yourself?
It's just more so a talking point to people at that point. They just want to be a part of a crew, you know, or part of a conversation. But I would just say, and also too, find out I would say actually the first thing you should do is find out what body type you have, because that also plays a big part. You're 3 different types of body types: ectomorph, endomorph, and mesomorphs. So your ectomorphs are your tall, skinny dudes that are hard to gain weight because you can gain weight.
Anyone can gain weight. Yeah.
And then your mesomorphs are not like, you know, you're naturally like me. They look like they're in shape at all times. And your endomorphs are like the rounder body type. You're mostly your powerlifters, Ronnie Coleman's, Jake Cutlers,
exactly.
You know, Phil Heath. So find out your muscle group or what kind of body type you have, and that'll also determine how long you should be in the gym. Ectomorphs, they said 30 to 45 minutes. Otherwise, you're actually hurting yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You can overtrain. You don't want to get no rhabdo.
Yeah. Been there, done that too. So.
Yeah, so I would like, and you had mentioned too, when you were talking about sets, and this is like I don't know if it's like a point of contention for people or not, but like a lot of times you'll hear like 3 sets. I like to do 4.
Okay.
I do 4 sets.
I do 4.
And I just think because like then if I do the 3 different exercises, I'm at 12. Then I'm at my, you know what I mean? Like, then I'm already there.
But again, it goes back to what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So like if you're trying to build muscle, then it's 3 or 4 sets of what? Moderate weight, heavy weight, lightweight, like it depends. And so like for me, whenever I get towards the end of a prep, or if I'm getting like trying to do like conditioning of my muscles, I do like 5 to 8 sets of like 18 to 25 reps.
Yeah.
But like lightweight.
Yeah.
You know, because normally I work out at like moderate heavy. So I won't do like light, but I won't do like heavy. So I'll do like, let's say if I'm benching, and if I was to have a max, I don't know, I don't even say I had a max, but I would just put on like 225 on the bench, and I'd probably do 5 sets of 10.
Yeah.
Like, which is 225. And just do that and keep my 45 seconds rest in between. And that, to me, that's like a moderate heavy. Like, it's a manageable. It's not light. It's not heavy. But it's
challenging.
It's challenging, but I can build. I can build from this.
Now, when you train, do you ever take any sets to failure, or do you leave reps to reserve?
No. So I won't do that exercise to failure. So if I do chest day, I do this thing called first 48. This is a push-up exercise. And it's just on the floor with no weights. And so you do 6 different hand movement placements of 8 reps each. And so I'll start with their wide, 8 here, 8 diamond, pause for like 10 seconds, 8 diamond, 8 diamond, 8 diamond, and that's 48 reps, and that's 1 set. And then in between those you do 2-minute rest, and then you'll do like 3 sets. Like, just try it one time.
Yeah, I bet, because
you probably won't make it through 1 set.
Yeah, I guarantee I won't.
Not just you, just in general. Yeah. Even me, and I created it, and I still suck at it.
Yeah, because I can do 50 push-ups one time,
Right.
And then that's it.
Yeah. and this is meant to be a failure to help, you know. But I usually won't do like failures on with the bar, like with the exercise I'm doing. Like if I'm doing incline bench, I won't do a set of incline failures. I go to the cables and I'll do like cable failure or something like that.
Yeah, if I go to any failure, it'll go to form failure, like so I can still move it. Like if I have to start to cheat it, then I'm like, okay, that's a failure.
That was the next thing I was going to actually get into. I was going to say you're focusing on the form too, because people think failure and they just start getting sloppy with it, and you're like, you're not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly. At that point, then you have failed form, and then like there's like length and partials and all that stuff.
And failure is a failure. So like if failure's 20 for you and 1 for me, that's failure. Yeah, exactly. You don't got to try to get with some. I don't even count failure sets. I just go until I can't do it before I break form, and that's typically what a failure should be.
Yeah, because it's I think that's an effective way to do it. Because like I know that when I first got in, determining what weights and everything was really tricky for me, because I was like, okay, everyone says do 10, but like what's the weight I should use? Yeah, so like it's basically what you can do 10 of. Like so
for me, my secret was I could never go down in weight. And that always humbled me to not go too much.
Exactly.
And so, but if I did too much, then I'm doing, instead of a set of, let's say, a set of 10, now I got 4 sets of 10, because I'm still doing that 10 reps,
exactly.
but I can only do 1 or 2 reps at a time. And so I forced myself to do that, so the next time I humble myself more, and I just wouldn't put as much weight on.
Yeah, I always make it my minimum is 6. If I can get 6, then that's a good starting weight. So if I can't do 6, then I got to drop the weight. Because I'm just being crazy at that point. But as I progress, first I go from my 6, and then when I get to 15, then I'm like, okay, I can add weight now.
Yeah.
So that's how I've been progressing. So I'll add reps until I get to 15, and then I'll add weight.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's been working out for me. Like I said, I don't know if that's a universal thing, but as long as you're moving forward, progressive overload is the key. So
yeah. So like for me, I've been consistent just because I played sports in high school, and then the military, and then just like life in general. So like I've always had like a base. And so, like, for me, I would always just go back to, like, what I knew. You know what I mean? Like, but with a reason. Because I know I'm not as strong as I was, or sometimes I wouldn't just go there. So, for me, it's a little different than, like, for someone else that's starting out. Because I've always had, like...
a true beginner as opposed to, like...
Right. And I'm not trying to, like,
No,
nothing like that. It's just, I've always been around weight since we started in 6th grade.
Yeah, everyone's got to start somewhere,
Yeah,
there's no shame in that.
Yeah, we started lifting weights in 6th grade. So, like, since 6th grade until... now I've been around weight, so I've always had like at least an idea of what weight I'm gonna use, but I always say like, can I use this weight for 3 sets or 4 sets? So just because I can do 225, because you'll see that too. You'll get in the gym, and you'll see a person load the bar, and they'll do a set of like 4.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You see them do a set of like 10, and then do a set of like what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. You want to, if you can't hit it, then it's not.
So I'd always start down. You can always add weight on, but like I said, my rule was I can never take it off. So I would always just, whatever I put on there, I better make sure I can do it for my entire set.
So you got to.
So there's sometimes I go to add weight on there. I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I can get this for 10 reps. So I went add it on there, and sure enough, I get to 7, 8 reps. I'm struggling, so I'm like, I'm glad I didn't put that on there. So
yeah, it's a good mentality to have. Yeah. So you're not.
It's okay to split sets.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you're supposed to do a set of 10 and you got to do 3 sets, 2 here and then 3 here.
They call that mile reps, right? When you got to stop. Yeah. So.
Which is fine. It's fine if you got to do that.
Take little mini breaks. Yeah.
But don't break form. Keep your form, and then take your little quick second. I won't take a lot of time, but it's just like, 1 by 1's fine.
Yeah, because when you're in the gym, like it's for you. Like so, like if you're struggling with it, like who are you impressing? You know what I mean? Like it don't matter. If you're in there and you're just under a bar with no weights on it, you're pushing the bar. It's something. It's better than a lot of people.
There's people that can't do a perfect bench rep with just a bar. Same thing as a perfect push-up. Can you do a perfect push-up? I can do a push-up. Can you do a pull-up? Yeah. No, you can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it the correct way, like with the right counts and everything. Like you probably can't do it because
full extension all the way down back. Because a lot of people just do like the part.
Like come all the way up. Chin over the bar. Pause for a second and control yourself back down. None of that kipping and all that other stuff. So it's like
none of the CrossFit pulls.
There's no shame in taking your time and trying to do those things.
That's just solid advice in general. Like, don't hurt yourself in the gym.
Absolutely no.
Because a lot of stuff that we think is crazy, like as like regular people, like isn't it kind of is like a 225 bench doesn't sound like a lot, but less than 5% of the world's population can do that.
Right. So
if you can do that, then you're in like the upper echelon. So like it's a lower weight you know, and it seems like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
You probably can't.
No.
Like most people when they walk in the gym cannot put up 225.
Yeah, and that's why I said with a lot of these high school kids, I'm not trying to bash high school kids, but I was a high school coach.
Well, I mean,
and my kids know who I am, but it's just like you see them go in the gym.
Teenage boy mentality, man.
And they throw all that weight on there, and you know, you got a freshman lifting with a senior who's been lifting for 4 years, and he's trying to do what he's doing, and you see him in there.
Because you don't want to look. It's a lion's den out there.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like you try to lift with someone in your group or your strength level, because you know you got guys that are going there with freshmen, seniors, sophomores, whatever, and they're trying to lift with their buddies, but they have experience and you don't, and no one's coaching no one.
Exactly.
And you see them in there, and they're silent. They got their own headphones on, and you see one guy that's doing even just, let's say, tricep extensions, and he's doing them pretty good, and then the other kid's like just throwing the weight down, and we try to use the same weight, and like, I'm that guy. I walk over there,
hey man, look,
and they see me coming, they're like, oh, hey, what's up, coach? I'm like, hey, no. Drop the weight, and it's embarrassing to them, but it's respectful, and I explain to them why, but it's like, you're not doing anything. You're going to hurt yourself, if anything.
Yep.
Trying
and then
to
you're going to set yourself back.
Yeah.
Like, if you start lower, you'll it's like a steady incline up.
Progression, not perfection. You want to get better. You want to get better, right? You don't want to be in here just say you're in here. You know, so when you show up to football season next year, you got stronger.
Yeah.
You didn't waste your time in here and got hurt and you just wasted a bunch of time. So
yeah, because like weightlifting does hurt.
It does.
It is painful, but it's not supposed to be like that kind of painful. Right. Where you're like, oh, my pec tore away from.
You walk away and you're like, something in my back. You know?
like where you're like, okay, I need like a week of recovery, like a couple days. You know, like maybe, especially legs. Legs always mess me up.
For me, for legs, they don't even really hit till like the second day.
Yeah.
And then they take about another 2 days after that, depending on how heavy you go or how hard you go, I should say. Because like I said, I don't really go too much heavy, but like if you're going hard on legs,
exactly. Because like, just repetitive with it, and like you use legs for everything.
Absolutely.
Like if your legs hurt and you can't walk, what are you gonna do?
When I tore my patella tendon, it makes you put a whole new perspective on life of what you actually use it for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I couldn't even like she was helping me take baths. I couldn't even get out of the bath. Like to me, I was like so embarrassing. I'm not calling her to help me get. And I get in the bath, and I sit down, I literally couldn't even like.
Well, I'm stuck. I guess I live here now.
like it's so like you don't realize what you use it for.
Yeah, like when somebody asked me like, what would you rather lose, an arm or a leg? And I was like, I'd lose an arm, man. Like, because a leg, like you have no idea what you can do because you can compensate with the other arm and stuff, but a leg.
Even now, like walking downstairs, like we're walking through the malls, and like I have to like guardrail like a kid, like because I can't, cause my knees still hyperextend every so often, like just no warning.
Oh yeah,
so like that's how I tore it the second time. So we had the surgery, and she was coming home. She's like 6 months pregnant, and she needs the groceries. So I'm like, not gonna make her carry groceries in the house. So I'm trying to still do my duties.
And I'm guessing that you're team one trip, aren't you? Everything in one trip, baby.
Yeah. Well, I was at the top of the stairs, and I hear the garage open, and I went to go down the stairs, and my knee hyperextended, and I fell down 13 stairs and retore it. So, just trying to walk down the stairs normal. Like I said, it just does its thing too. So, but yeah, you don't realize how you use your legs with everything, and just basic stuff like even now it's kind of sore just sitting here with the way where it's at, And
they work in tandem with each other too. So one leg out, the other one's basically useless, like so.
And then the recovery's terrible because my quads wasn't firing, and so it was like jello, the whole time. So I'm still recovering from that too. So, but yeah, legs definitely it's a pivotal part to everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said. If I had to lose one, it'd be an arm instead of a leg. The arm would suck because I'm an artist and I play instruments and all this stuff. But
I would say I'd rather not lose any of them. And I don't know if I could even pick one to lose, but I would probably be with you with the because I actually technically lost a leg and I'd probably choose an arm. When
I was in high school, I got hit by a car and tore my ACL, MCL, and PCL all at once, and I couldn't walk. So they were surprised that I ever even walked again. So
yeah, that's terrible.
So I know what it's like when you're like, oh hey. No leg.
Yeah, so. They get the whole brace on, and you're literally just like, you're just stuck, man.
And I was overweight at the time too, so it was not a good time. But so in terms of your bodybuilding and all that stuff, do you have any like sponsorships or anything that you work? Like how does one go about that? Do they approach you or do you approach them? Or
so you kind of start with a lot of these. You start with I just drew a blank. But it's called like
affiliate?
No, kind of. Man, what is this called? I just drew a blank. But you like fill out these applications, and they give you like a code. And so like I've had the whole code with your name on there, and you get 20% off when you use my code. And it's kind of like a sales pitch.
Yeah, exactly. You're selling for them, and then
yeah, and so like you sell so much, and then they approach you to become and they sponsor you. And so like after a while, I got to a point with like Redcon One where they start sending you each month. You get so much money that you just free money stuff.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what do you want? You got $500 on stuff, And so I was just getting a ton of like pre-workout, ton of like extra things, protein powders, different things like that. But I would use them for promotion, like giveaway stuff too.
Yeah, exactly.
I would do like stuff on my website, like, oh, hey, the next few followers or follow my channel or something like that, and I'm going to give away this. So I was using like my free stuff that I earned, and then as part of that too.
Yeah, it is smart. Like I had a thing with Rise for a little bit, Rise Energy, and then a t-shirt company sponsored me for a bit too, but they went out of business. So
yeah, I had like Just Gym was one of those t-shirt companies. They kind of went out of business too. Sponsored with them. I did Bucked Up for a little bit, and then Redcon One is probably my favorite one by far. So, but yeah, it depends. But Blackstone Labs, I forgot about them too. But a lot of them are different, but the same in a sense to where they want you to be. I just can't believe I can't think of the name right now. We call them tier operators in Redcon One, but it's another term that I'm trying to think of. But you basically sell enough for them, and then they're like, hey, you sold a bunch of us, so we want to sponsor you now. So basically that's how it works. You just kind of shot in the dark and go from there.
That's pretty cool, though. So, like supplementation and stuff, like you mentioned, like pre-workout, are you like a strong believer in pre-workout? Or
not so much anymore. For one, it's terrible on your stomach. It's horrible on your stomach. So
I bought one thing of it one time, and I didn't even get through the whole thing. It's too much caffeine for me, man.
Yeah, well, they do have like some of them have certain things to where like it's non-stimulant. Mm-hmm. So you can use like non-stimulant pre-workouts and different things like that. But when you get to that point in your life, especially where you are, you've lost a ton of weight. So like to you, it's automatic. If I don't go to the gym, I feel different. Yeah. I don't need pre-workout to go to the gym.
Exactly.
And so you'll get some people that'll be talking, and it's mostly like a fad thing, like, oh man, my pre-workout, I need pre-workout. No, you don't. Either you want to go get fit or you don't. Mm-hmm. You should. This in this cup is not. It's not Space Jam. I'm not gonna drink this. It's not gonna make me something. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's every so often, like I'll do it as a pump, because like pump activators. Yeah. I would do it like that. Because it's a muscle and mind connection. It's all mental. I look good. I feel good. It's like part of body dysmorphia. It's all part of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the body dysmorphia is real.
Yeah, it is.
It's so real.
Even for like bodybuilders.
The day you start working out is the smallest you'll ever be.
Absolutely. Every time I go in the gym, and I always say I'm gonna work out until I feel like I look big. And that's why like every time I see people, sometimes like, man, you keep getting bigger. And I don't feel like it. I'm like, I'm losing weight. Like,
you're like, what are you talking about, man?
Right. So that's how I look at it. But I don't have I'm not a stickler about it. It's just one of those things. Like I said, if you want to use it, if it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, there are some people that can't function without caffeine. Yeah. So they use it in that. They'll use pre-workout instead of coffee or something like that. So I don't really have like a.
Yeah, I know that I do creatine every day, because why not?
Right.
Like it's not gonna. It's like the most studied thing ever. It's not gonna hurt you.
Yeah, even for like high school kids.
And then some people just don't respond to it. It's like it is what it is. So it's not gonna hurt you. And then like a multivitamin is about basically all I do.
Yeah.
Every day, because that's really all you need outside of your diet. Like if you're just going throughout your life and just being regular. There's like other stuff like terkesterone and stuff like that some people do. Ashwagandha, It's just, it really depends like what you believe.
Yeah. I like arginine for heart health. Yeah. Like I do that, and then I'll do like multivitamins and stuff like that.
And like branched chain amino acids and all that stuff. There's all kinds of stuff out there, but like you don't really need any of that stuff. It's just more what you want out of it.
Yeah. It's not a one-all be-all. It's like I said, it just depends on whatever goal you're trying to accomplish and what you're trying to do, and you just got to figure out what works best for you.
Yeah, because like people like the online, like it's a real toxic culture online. Like I've been finding, like with fitness influencers and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and you can't get swept up in that. It's genetics. Like what I mean. So like if you ain't got it, you ain't gonna get it. So you can work and you can reach your genetic potential, and it may not be what you're expecting, but it's better than it was.
I've always said, just be honest. Mm-hmm. Be truthful, be honest of what you're doing, how you're doing it, because even with genetics, I can have the same genetics as my little brother, and if he don't work as hard as I work,
yeah, exactly,
he ain't gonna look like I'm looking.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if that was the case, why don't everybody with good genetics look the same? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah, you can put into it, you know, but you know,
yeah.
I mean,
you can only max out your max potential.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not gonna ever be Sam Sulik. You know what I mean? Like, there's not gonna be none of that in this house. You know, but and that's fine because I don't expect to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like, you got to be honest with yourself. Like, you're not gonna go on there and look like these fitness. Like, some people might. I mean, I think you could. I've seen you when you're in bodybuilding. You know, you got good genetics for it.
Yeah.
Your genetics are gonna be better than mine. I won't be able to do it. But like, I accept that, and I'm not like, damn. You know, it's not worth it. Then like, no, it's worth it because it's.
It just depends. Like I said, it just depends on whatever goal you're trying to do, and it depends on
health should be the goal, you know.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So like, if you're healthy, then you're good, you know. I mean, that's really what matters. Like, it is cool to look cool, you know. Like I got like superheroes and stuff on my wall. Clearly, I like that stuff. So if I could look more like a daredevil, then I'm pretty happy with that, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, it just depends on what you're trying to do, man. Like, you know, even with bodybuilding, if you're trying to be like certain people, you got to realize how big these dudes are. Mm-hmm. Because like when I first got into bodybuilding, I didn't realize how big they were. And then I went to not the Chicago show, I went to Chicago Expo 1 year, and I met like Jay Cutler, Chris Bumstead, like Sean Roden, I got Brandon Henderson, I got a bunch of pictures with all these guys, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
like, these dudes are huge. Like, even with Jay Cutler's been retired for how long now?
Yeah,
and
he's
that dude is still ginormous. Mm-hmm. I love Jay because he's from Massachusetts too. But
you can't tell.
Right. But yeah, dude. So like, yeah, because everyone always says like, oh, Jay Ronnie Coleman, and I love Ronnie Coleman, but Jay's my favorite because he's Massachusetts.
Yeah, he's a homeboy.
Yeah, he's a home kid. So like, but yeah, dude, you got to just be honest with yourself. And I always tell these kids, especially with me being a football coach, or I used to be a football coach, and I was also the weightlifting coach as well. And the kids see you and they want to be like you, look like you, and stuff like that too. You got to be honest with them because they're gonna be out here killing themselves. Yeah. You know, and then if they can't get to where you're at, they can't. You gotta be honest with them.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, just it's not for everyone. Yeah. But health is. You know.
Absolutely.
And that's what I've been trying to like preach on my channel. You know, because I said I'm not ever gonna be a bodybuilder type. Mm-hmm. But I can look better and I can be happy with myself. And that's really what you want to go with.
Yeah. Look how you want to look in the mirror. It just depends on where you want to go. You know, like I said, for me, when I first started, you know, I was just so like focused on just getting fit. You know, when I first got into fitness, started learning about it, like you said, it was kind of like you too. I was like, I'm just trying to figure this out. Mm-hmm. I'm studying everything. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get my personal training thing because that's going to give me more. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get my master fitness thing. So that's just going to give me more and more education on it. You know, and I just want to know all the things about it. I'm just like consuming myself. It's like a full-time job.
Yeah,
like,
it's cool the stuff that you learn.
It's like 2-3 in the morning. I'm like on Google trying to find shit,
and it's stuff that I wish that they had taught us in school, like especially with like calories and stuff like that. Absolutely. Like they don't teach you any of that stuff.
Yeah, like how many grams are in a
like as soon as
9 and 4.
As soon as they were like 3,500 calories is a pound. And then they clicked for me. I was like, okay, if I can cut out that much, then I lose. You know what I mean? Like, and it became a math problem. Like once I got there, it was perfect. But they didn't teach me that at all in school.
Fitness isn't hard. It's just the, you know, for the lack of better words, let's say the ignorance of it, not knowing.
Yeah.
And then once you know it and it clicks, you're like, it's not that hard.
Yeah, exactly. It's simple math. Not only is it math, it's simple math.
It's just when people like think things are like so tough. And they just don't want to do it, or they don't know about it. Like I'm a welder, so why do I know about fitness? You know, I don't know about it, so I'm just gonna rely on, you know, looking at that person over there, and I'm gonna kind of put my body like them instead of just asking them.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like trying to learn to play a guitar by watching music videos.
Right.
Like, see, these fingers are here. I put my, you know, it's not gonna work.
Drum line, right?
Yeah.
Just watching them play and playing by ear, it doesn't always work out for you. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, and another thing too, like if your goal is to get big and jacked. Gym, absolute 100%. You have to go. You cannot do it without, because you can do stuff at home and you'll get a calisthenics body, and you can look amazing, but you're not big and jacked. So if you want to get big and jacked and be bodybuilder type, have to have the gym.
Right.
If you want to lose weight, you ain't got to ever step foot in a gym.
No.
It makes it easier in the long term, because if you add muscle, then you burn more calories over time, but you don't have to. So like that's another thing, like, because I try to help people lose weight on this channel, and like people don't want to go to the gym. They just, you know.
So whenever we were deployed, it was a COVID year, so we lost our gym. We kept losing the gym back and forth. Obviously, close proximity, people are touching on stuff, even with cleaning it. And we were in Africa for a year, for the Horn of Africa, so disease country, right? So like we kept losing the gym. So running a ton, ropes, pull-ups, and like burpees, push-ups, sit-ups, flutter kicks, front back goes, like different things, just like all this body stuff.
Yeah.
And I can go show you pictures, and you would look at it, you would swear I was like lifting weights and doing everything.
Yeah, exactly. Calisthenics is a hell of a workout.
And I had like, a good sized chest, traps, like shoulders, and all I was doing is body stuff and like running every day. That's all we did. That's all we had.
Yep.
And
if you want it bad enough, you can make it work.
Right. You can still, it's achievable, So you don't need to ever go in the gym. You can just, do some running, do some burpees, push-ups, flutter kicks, sit-ups, pull-ups. You can find a pull-up bar in a park somewhere.
Exactly.
And you never have to go to the gym, because a lot of guys or females too have that, that's just that stigma.
Yeah,
of
the
gym.
fear,
Yeah. It's like deafening to a lot of people too. Like they're just like, they can't do it, which is understandable. But, if you don't want to go to the gym, you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. And you can still reach your fitness goals.
Absolutely.
But it just makes it a lot easier because I know, like I said, when you add muscle, your metabolism gets better because your muscle burns more calories just by existing, just by being in your body. Your metabolic rate's going to go up if you have more muscle. So if you lose weight, people don't realize that when you lose weight, you lose muscle too.
Yep.
Because when I first started, I was all cardio. I was Mr. Cardio. I was out here on the bike for 4 hours a day, just cardio. And then when I went back to the gym, I couldn't even bench the bar. Like but before I was able to bench 300 pounds, so I lost everything.
Yep.
But I lost the weight too, so I started from scratch.
Yep.
If I would have been building muscle the whole time, because my metabolism went so low that if I ate 1,500 calories, I was putting on weight.
Yep.
So I didn't have enough muscle in me to burn calories effectively. So that's what people don't understand is you can lose weight, but when you lose weight without building muscle at the same time, you're gonna lose muscle too. So that's a hard thing for people to get. Like my 600-pound live people, if they were to instantly drop the weight they would be like the strongest people in the world.
Right.
Like their legs would be crazy. You know what I mean? But like since it takes that time, then they lose the strength too. So that's why there's not like a bunch of former fat people who are just like world's strongest man.
Yeah.
Because
it's because they don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's the ignorance of it.
But it's like the weight of it, and then they're losing the weight, and you're saying if they lose it over time, and then they're good strong.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same concept as bulking. You put on the weight, and then you lose it, but you're building as you're losing it. And so that's how you do it.
And if you lose weight, you're going to lose a little bit of muscle regardless. There's like no perfect way to but you're going to lose a lot less if you stay in the gym and resist.
And you still try to hit those numbers. So that's the hardest part about cutting. Is because you're still trying to hit those numbers while you're in a caloric deficit, while you're lethargic, while you're tired and just going through the motions, but you're still trying to hit I got to get as close as that 275 bench for working sets as possible.
Yeah, you don't want to lose any strength in a
muscles
cut.
are like diamonds. The more pressure you put them on, the better they look. So you still want to hit those moderate heavy for me, my purposes, moderate heavy sets, but you also obviously got to do it with a reason because you're losing strength too.
Yeah, that's the only thing that sucks for like a bodybuilder. Like when you're cut, that's like the weakest you're gonna be.
That's why it's not sustainable. That's why I said usually, and that's why you get last 2 weeks before a show is when you get to that point where you're like when I was at the Arnold Classic and they were like quarter turn to your right, and I think I was on stage with 11 people in my group, and everybody paused for a second.
Yeah, because
I was in the Army, so in my head I'm like right face, and everyone turned left, I went right, and I kind of paused halfway through, and they go your other right, and I was so tired and so like I'm falling asleep, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah, but when you cut, what do you cut down to body fat wise? Would you say?
So when I was at the Arnold, I was at 6%.
Yeah,
and then at the Chicago Pro, I was at 8%.
Yeah, see, that's
not sustainable.
It's crazy. 15% is like a good, healthy walking around body weight. If you cut anything less than that, you are like your body is in a fight.
So with the Arnold Classic, I was 196 pounds at 6%, and then the Chicago Pro, I actually weighed in for Classic, but I was too heavy, and so they made me do heavyweight bodybuilding, and so I was at 201 at 8%. And but yeah, so when I got done. With the Arnold Classic, you're gonna eat all these things. Eat this. All I wanted was a salad, and it was like the Arnold salad or something up in Columbus. So I ate the salad, and then with the Chicago Pro, I was like, I'm going to B-Dubs, I'm going to order all these things. I ordered all these wings. I think I had 2 or 3 wings, and I was like sick.
Yeah, it's crazy because I've seen like Larry Wheels when he went back on, he like gained 50 pounds in one day. I mean, it's like obviously not.
Yeah, those burgers.
Yeah, it's not. He's not actually gaining 50 pounds. He's putting 50 pounds of water into his body, you know, because you're rehydrating
sodium and all these things. Yeah,
it's insane. Like that's the one thing that would scare me about doing a bodybuilding show is the after, slippery slope, going crawling.
Well, that's why these guys just get ready and go into another show. You know, like I said, I was March, it was like February 27th or 28th into March, and then I did another show in July, and then you get ready and keep doing, and just keep doing like, you know, bodybuilding shows last, you know, like the year until the next season, and you have your off season, that's you got to bulk, you know, so it's like, you always got something you're ready for, though. So, like, when you're going into the off-season, you're bulking, but you also got to get ready because you got to show in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's why these dudes do a lifestyle of that. You know what I mean? So,
and it's hard to do, like, if that's your job, like, that's, you know, it's
that's
different.
all they do.
Yeah.
They get paid to do it. They win money, and when you become a pro, you know, you place top 5, whatever, you get checks. Like, Mr. Olympia, Derek, who won this year? Was Derek Longsford, I think?
Yeah, I think so.
$500,000?
Because he just got upset at the Arnolds, didn't he?
Not the Olympics, excuse me. He just won the Arnold.
Yeah,
he just won the Arnold.
Because Seabohm won
6th. Yeah, Seabohm won 6th and he retired. But just the other day, yesterday, I think Derek won. I can't remember. I haven't watched the results yet. I honestly haven't been watching either because, like you said, my time's consumed now with my kids. And
the only thing I do coming out of the Arnolds is that Sulik got his pro card. That's all I.
I did see that. Everybody was hype about that. Yeah, I did see that. But yeah, I don't follow as much anymore. It's because, like I said, that's just not my path right now. Kind of there, kind of not. You know, before I was, that's all. You go on my YouTube, that was all my all my stuff. That's all I did all the time was watch everything about it, and 24/7. You know, so But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, it's you don't make as much money doing that as you think. It's
well, for the effort and time you put into it,
it's not worth
what
it.
You make is not.
Yeah,
worth
it's not worth it at all. It's definitely more of a to say you did it.
Basically, yeah.
The glory, and then like the stuff that comes with it. Like like when you're Mr. Olympia champion, clearly you're gonna get a lot of subscribers on your channels, and you're gonna make passive income. Yeah. But like
my buddy bodybuilder, he's a pro, IFBB pro. He's younger than me. He did, I think, 5 shows like a few years ago. 5 shows, and he got his pro card and was in Olympia. First call out with Brandon Henderson, and now he's a truck driver. Yeah, he's retired.
Yeah, hey, he did it. Yeah. He did the thing, man.
It was surprising to me. Like this dude is he's a men's physique IFBB pro, and dude, he makes me look small. Like, and he was just shredded out of his mind. Like the dude's Cam Harris. Like look him up. He's a stud. And I think he did his first show, second show, got his pro card in his third show, went to Olympia on his 4th show. Was in first call outs with Brandon Henderson, like 3-time Mr. Olympia, like B. Hendrickson, like the dude, and like
now he drives truck.
And now he's and he's like, he's following God, he's doing his thing, but like he's just like, I'm done. Yeah. Like what? Yeah, out of nowhere.
Just to know that you can.
Yeah, I guess he did it say you can do it, and he's just on a different path in life now. But like I said, it's depending on what you're trying to accomplish in their path, and health and all these things you got to do because the amount of stuff you have to do and like. Sacrifice to just
that's the key word there, sacrifice.
To be competitive. That's the other thing. Like when I did it to just say I did it was like I didn't know anything about it. But once I like maxed out my potential and like I showed up to the Arnold Classic and I'm in the local gyms, I'm looking like really good and everyone's like, damn, in the mirror flexing and stuff. And I got there, dude, and I'm like, I didn't want to go out there.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're a big fish in a small pond. Then when you're out there with the big fish, you're like, what am I gonna do?
I'm classic physique, and I'm walking by these men's physique dudes, and they make me look tiny, and I'm like, what? Like, nah, I'm good. That was my first experience with it, and yeah, that was like, man, it was humbling for sure.
Well, I think we'll wrap it up because I know you got stuff to do, but I do appreciate the time coming by. This has been a very enlightening conversation. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'd love to have you back sometime. We can talk some stuff, and if you ever want to stop by and use my gym area, you're more than welcome to if you're ever in Fairbury.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to have to come out here and get a workout.
It's a little lightweight, but you can throw on whatever you need to.
Get the job done.
All right, well, this is Kevin Jones. I'm Brandon Rogan. This has been MostHated LiveStream. Y'all take her easy. Peace.